We first looked into building a back house at the start of the year, and the code at the time told us the unit in the back had to be half the square footage of the front, which landed us at about 550 square feet. And because of that, we figured most of our design and architectural efforts would go into making as livable a space as we could out of that 550 square feet. But after learning in the last episode that come summer, there will be new regulations allowing us to build a lot higher square footage in the backyard, we had to switch gears from thinking of what we could build to what we wanted to build. Baby, what do you want out of the back unit?
What do I want out of the back unit?
I want tall ceilings, open floor plan.
A 2-bedroom minimum?
No, maximum. Outdoor shower, lots of windows, not too big, not too small, and internet.
Right now it's just the pup, my girlfriend, and myself here. And while it's tempting to build our dream hut back there, exactly suited to our lifestyle, I think it's a bit short-sighted. It's not unimaginable that we live somewhere else down the road, and we want whoever lives here to feel like it's a practical and functional space for themselves or their small family. So I got in touch with my friend Teresa, who is very familiar with the rental market here in Southern Oregon. What I was really looking to learn is how we can add the most value for potential renters.
Storage is really important to most folks, as is laundry. So you would make a big mistake by not having some sort of laundry, even if there's not a garage or anything like that, to have some sort of place where people can keep bicycles and, outdoor equipment is a really good idea. People seem to like open floor plans right now, so if you're living in kitchen areas sort of conjoined.
And Teresa made a great point that while you want to offer a lot to potential renters, it can backfire on you.
What I would hope you would aim for is that, you make it nice, but you don't go so fancy that you're trying to achieve the high-end rents. Like, keep your sweet spot so that you're really helping the people that work in the town. I think it's good to keep in mind the common family or common person that's going to be, most people can't afford $2,000 a month for rent. So simple is okay too.
Teresa's recommendations were super helpful, and a lot of what she recommended had a good amount of overlap with what we wanted from the house ourselves. I felt at this point we knew what we could build, what we should build, and of course what we wanted to build. So we hopped online to get an idea of some floor layouts. A lot of the concepts we gravitated towards put the common areas at one end and the more private areas at the other. And we figured if we followed this, we'd be able to put the common areas, like the kitchen and the living room, with a great view of the mountains to the north. From there, I figured we could stick the bedroom at the southwest corner and then a closet off of that. We can nestle in the bathroom right beside that. And then since we plan to do a loft, we could put a stairwell somewhere around here. I wanted to get a little more granular with the dimensions of everything, so I hopped into the free CAD software called OnShape. First thing I did was import an aerial photo. I then took a measurement of this back fence so I could put everything to scale. From there, I began sizing the house, putting the setbacks from the side yard to 6 feet and the backyard 10 feet, and then tentatively sized it at 18 by 36 feet. From there, began building out the kitchen in the north part, and then moved on to the bedroom in the south part. From there, you can build out a closet and the bathroom. I wanted to put things a bit into perspective, so I grabbed a mattress just to see how it would fit in the bedroom, and it was a bit snug. So I knocked down the front wall of the bedroom, resized the bathroom, and got a little more room around the bed. I wanted to see how usable the loft was, and at the current roof height, there was pretty much no room on the west side of it, so I just bumped the roof height at that end up to 12 feet. After sizing everything out, it still looked like this unit was going to be a bit cramped, so I just went back and bumped the length and the width up by 2 feet, which put us at a ground floor square footage of 648 and then 212 for the loft. Then pushed the entry door down to the north a bit so that we could use this wall for a couch. And now to pass the first of what I'm sure will be many, many inspections.
So is this the front door?
Yeah.
Okay, so you walk in and then there's a kitchen. So kitchen's to your right. It's a long kitchen, open. And that's a bathroom.
Yep.
So is there only one entrance to the bathroom and from the living room?
Yeah.
Okay. And then back there is like a long closet. Okay. I would even be into like having maybe the bathroom and the closet kind of all in one space. Like you don't even really need to partition though. This is like an open out.
Yeah, that'll be like some enormous window or something.
What's the dimensions for the bedroom?
I don't know. That's a queen bed in there though.
Oh, okay.
And I put about 2 feet on either side of it.
Okay. Yeah, I like it. And I could totally see us. And then that's the loft.
Yeah, so we'll put like a staircase somewhere, either scoot that couch over and put a spiral one or something.
Yeah.
Or a ladder style maybe for
I
better
think
space use.
that is absolutely perfect with the tall ceilings. It's going to feel really big, even if it's not. I love it.
Cool. Mandy approves?
Yeah.
So at this point, we've got a pretty good idea of what we want to build, but the big hurdle in front of us is going to be submitting an official plan to the city. And I know that will need to go into a lot more detail than I've laid out here. So in the next episode, I'm going to figure out exactly what that detail is. Thanks.